Hey, Dr. Lara here. I hope you're doing well today. So on my soul walk today, of course, I asked what's the highest and best good for people to hear. And I got I got the message about comfort zones. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a kick in the pants message. And sure enough, it was. So you're explaining to me about comfort zones and how we stay in our comfort zones because that's where we feel comfortable. But a lot of times people, they complain or they wonder why their manifestations aren't coming to them when they're not willing to do what it takes to make it come to fruition. Okay, so when we want something in our life, like a relationship, make our career go to the next level, or moving, or something like that, we, chances are, if you're listening to this, you are manifesting, you're getting clear on what it is you want, you understand that what you put out comes back to you. Now, the next step to that is what a lot of people don't talk about is you have to put it into action. And what that means is that when you receive guidance to go do something, you need to go do it. Like that's how you bring things into your experience. So you can manifest things. You can think, you can meditate all you want. And it's all right here. It is. It's all right here. But unless you move beyond your comfort zone, unless you face that fear, it's all going to stay right here. Because when you face your fear, when you do that next step, it brings it down into that physical form. And then all of this stuff that's out here all the time, it creates space in your energy field. So when you take that physical action, when you make that phone call, when you go on that site, when you take that course that can help you further along, whatever it is you want to further along, that creates a void in your body of energy. And when that's open, that's when your manifestation can come down. Okay, so the second part of that was, if you have something that you want and you're making all the excuses as to why you can't, and we know who we are because we all do it, when you make those excuses why you can't, the universe or your higher self is going to make things so uncomfortable for you that you will have no choice but to make those decisions. Because what motivates humans to change? Fear. Pain. Pain motivates people to change. So this is your kick in the pants. If you have something in your heart that you really want in your life and you're doing the manifesting and you're wanting it and you're wondering why it's not coming, chances are it's because you're not willing to move through the fear that it takes in order to get it. Okay? And you have an agreement with your higher self, whether you know it or not. And your higher self has a path for you. And it's going to put things in your experience to help you along that path. If you've got a destiny, you've got something inside of you, there's a path that you are destined to take. And they're going to do everything they can to get you to take it. And that's when you get these nudges. Oh, you know what? I should make that phone call. I should go on that site. I should take that class. Those are hints. Those are hints. And if you don't take those hints, something will happen eventually in your life that's going to not be pleasant. And it's going to create something like a crisis or something in order for you to make that change. So, and then the third part of this is all it takes is 10 seconds of courage. Okay. And there was this movie that they reminded me of. It's called We Bought a Zoo. And there was this boy, he was talking to his dad, and he wanted to ask this girl out, but he was afraid to do it. So the father talked to the boy and told him a story about how he met his wife. And she was sitting in a coffee shop, and he walked past and he saw her, and he thought that she was the most beautiful girl that he had ever seen. And he knew deep down that that was the girl that he was going to marry. But he kept walking. And then he turned around, and then he walked back. And then he walked back, and he went back a few times to see her. But he was really scared, and he thought, well, if something's going to happen, I have to face my fear. And all it took was 10 seconds of courage. So he went into that coffee shop, and he went and introduced himself. and they ended up talking for hours, and that they ended up getting married and have kids. But he was telling his son, all it takes is 10 seconds of courage. And if you can make that phone call, that's the 10 seconds that you need. And then everything else will fall into place. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to be afraid again, because you will, because you're constantly moving and exploring and expanding. And when you expand, more fear comes up. But if you can look at it as something like, this is just something for me to face. All it takes is 10 seconds. And once I get through this, then I can keep going. Okay, so this is a very loving kick in the pants from the universe. And I'm just here to give it to you. You know what? Be very grateful that you don't live with me and you're not my kids, because this is what they get almost every day. And so I just hope that this helps. You know, life is too short to live in fear. The time is now. The time is now for you to have those 10 seconds to take just one step a day. Just one little step a day that's going to get you closer to what it is you want. And I promise you that when you move through that fear, your life is going to be so full of so many wonderful things, you're going to forget why you were afraid in the first place. So I hope that helps. I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope that the universe opens things up for you. And write in the comments, what are you going to do today? What's going to take 10 seconds of courage? Where are you going to move forward? Please put them down. I'll comment back on them. I love to hear all of your comments. So have a beautiful day. Thanks so much for listening.